The NBA season starts in 7 days, 1 week to be exact. In this video, I have my 10 best future bets that I love for the upcoming season. Now, before I even lay in the groundwork as to how I view betting prop markets and betting props and markets and futures for the NBA, I do need to note, this hopefully is my final video in a random change of scenery. As you guys know, I'm normally out in my normal home office, but as you know, I was impacted by Hurricane Milton. We're on day 6 of no electricity. So bear with me, do me a favor, subscribe if you're new, drop a like. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'm excited for the NBA season. I'm hopefully excited to get some electricity back. Hopefully today is the final day without it. It's no fun sleeping in the heat of Florida, but you guys came in for some NBA futures. And let me talk about how I bet futures, and then we'll dive into my favorite 10 of the season. I don't see a lot of value holding up and tying up my money in the NBA if you're going to put a one unit on a minus 110. Because you think about the NBA, it starts in mid-October, end of October. Regular season doesn't end until the end of middle April, and then obviously the playoffs go on until June. Not a lot of value, in my opinion, holding up my money for 6, 7, 8 months. So instead, all of the futures you'll see in this video are going to be good plus money, not going to be more than a half unit risk on each of these. And we're going to just take a shot on some different ones, and hopefully some of them pay out and make us all some money. Hope that makes sense to you. Let's dive into the first one. We're going to start with the Most Improved Player Award. This is actually the only award market that I'm touching. I don't see a lot of value in any MVP people, and I also Coach of the Year, other different types of awards, Defensive Player of the Year. Not a lot of value, in my opinion. So instead, I have 3 bets, that my first 3 in this video, all be on Most Improved Player. Best case scenario, two of these 3 lose. Because, well, hopefully one of the other ones wins. So obviously all 3 can't win. Here are my 3 players I see value, though, for Most Improved Player. Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks, Jonathan Kuminga of the Golden State Warriors, and Jordan Poole of the Washington Wizards. Now, before you click off the video, you're like, Jordan Poole? You got to be kidding me, Austin. Let me at least explain. You don't have to take it. I'll talk about the odds and why I'm liking these. The first one, Jalen Johnson, Most Improved Player to win this award. He's plus 1,800 on DraftKings. He's arguably my favorite of the trio. I'm putting just a quarter unit. So whatever, quarter unit to win, I don't even know. I don't feel like doing the odds off the top of my head. Jalen Johnson, the argument here is, well, let's talk about actually winning the Most Improved Player award. There's a couple different things that come into it. Now, bear in mind, I have side screens. My whole setup's all janky, but look at some baselines. 10 of the last 11 Most Improved Player winners, the guys that won the award, averaged at least 20 points per game. So we're thinking we got to find a guy that's averaging 20 points per game. Second one, there hasn't been a second-year guy, so a guy coming off his rookie season, to win the award since 2007. So you're thinking about guys like, I don't know, Victor Wembanyama. He's the number 1 guy for Most Improved Player award winner. Odds. If Victor wins this award, the award's just messed up. There's no reason Victor Wembanyama, who's already viewed as a top 10 player, top 10, whatever, 15, whatever player you want to call him in the NBA right now. I don't see him winning, and he's a second-year guy. The last requirement, 12 of the last 16 to win the award were in their 3rd or 4th season, which is exactly where Kuminga and Jalen Johnson find themselves. Jordan Poole, obviously not, but we'll get to him in a little bit. Now, we talk about Jalen Johnson. Last year with the Hawks, 16, a little under 8 rebounds, and 4-ish assists per game. Obviously, DeJounte Murray, he handled the ball a ton. Well, where's DeJounte Murray? Not in Atlanta anymore. He's in New Orleans. So we think about this Hawks lineup. Do they have a lot of playmakers outside of Trae Young? They got Bogdanovic, sure. Then they got their rookie, the number 1 overall pick, Reese or Shea, or however you want to pronounce his name. And they got kind of Jalen Johnson, a guy that's kind of do it all. I think this is a guy that realistically could average 20 or more points per game, maybe 21, 22 points per game. Wouldn't shock me. High efficiency guy. Needs to shoot better from the 3, but that's going to come in more time in the league. And last year kind of was his first really season where he got a lot of minutes. Now he had a full off season to get ready to go. There's also a guy, I'm not saying highlights make you a winner of this award, but we know this guy will catch lobs. He has crazy athletic ability. He'll have some posters in there, and if he has a couple posters that are like, dang, what the heck? That can maybe help him out getting some more votes. So Jalen Johnson, my first one at plus 1,800. Again, just a quarter unit, small sprinkle. The other one is Jonathan Kuminga for just a quarter unit as well at plus 1,600. Very similar analysis to Jalen Johnson. This is another guy coming into, I forget, his 3rd or 4th season. Kuminga obviously burst on the scene a little bit last year. What did he average? 16.1 points per game in 26 minutes. So not the biggest season for him, but Klay Thompson, obviously high usage there along with Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson, we know, is in Dallas. They brought in some guys to kind of fill in that shooting guard, small forward role. I mean, we're talking about guys like D'Anthony Melton and Buddy Hield, but at the same time, we know Jonathan Kuminga, just like Jalen Johnson, has the athletic ability to put a highlight reel, so that's cool. But he's a high-efficiency scorer, just like Jalen Johnson. He's also been shooting the three-pointer very well in the preseason. So we've seen, actually, just in the preseason, 10 for 18 from three. Is Jonathan Kuminga going to shoot above 50% from three? Absolutely no chance. If he does, he's going to cash this at plus 1,600 or whatnot. But I think there's a lot of value in taking a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. Spoiler alert, there's people walking by the door. This is not what they do. They're very confused when they hear my voice. Either way, I think he's got a chance there. He could easily average above 20 points per game. And then the final one is Jordan Poole. I know this is going to be the biggest long shot for you guys to get on board with me. It's plus 15,000. I think there is a realistic possibility Jordan Poole's getting votes for this award. You think about the qualifications to get this one. Everyone expected Jordan Poole to have a monster year last year. She stunk. We know that. He averaged, 17 points per game, down from his 20.4, his career high in 2022. Now coming into this game this year, I don't think the Wizards are going to be good. I'm not going to say that. But there is a realistic possibility that Jordan Poole, 1, sets a career high in points. He could get up to 23, 24 points per game. 2, sets a career high in assists, which is obviously big. Last year, we saw the last 10 games of the season, Poole, 22.6 points per game and 8.4 assists per game. Obviously, we have a new head coach here. And is Poole a great defender? No, and that could maybe play him off the court. But at the same time, they're kind of unleashing him and saying, hey, keys to the offense, have fun. Who else is on this team? Kyle Kuzma will command his usage, but Bilal Koulibaly, they have Bub Carrington, their rookie. The center position's a disaster with Valanciunas, Richaun Holmes, and Marvin Bagley. There's not a lot of usage out there. They need a guy to handle the ball. And the one guy is Jordan Poole. The second guy is Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon is a guy that is already injured. He just had torn ligament surgery in his thumb. And at the trade deadline, is he going to still be on the team? Probably not. So I think Jordan Poole could put up some crazy numbers. He was also a highlight guy. I like a chance there. Long analysis from why I like these three guys, but hopefully you appreciate it. And those are the three guys I'm rolling with for most improved player. Jordan Poole only a 0.1 unit play. So 0.1 wins us, I don't even know how many units. A lot of them. I love Jordan Poole. Next, we move on to some straight bets. Technically those are straight bets, but these are more just one player, and they're going to either go over or under, and we're going to live with it. First one is just a half unit play on Michael Porter Jr. to record 20 or more points per game. That's going to be a season average. Obviously not record that in one game. Season average, 20 plus points per game, plus 475 on DraftKings. Now, we need Michael Porter Jr. to average 20 or more points. On DraftKings, he has to play 41 games or more to be eligible for this. So it's not like he can go out there, score 20 in the first game. No, he's out of here, out for season, and we win our bet. That's not going to happen. I think that's how FanDuel does it, but not how DraftKings does it. So if he does get injured, obviously not the worst thing in the world. If he plays 41 or more games and gets injured, it cashes. Now, why do I like Michael Porter Jr. of the Denver Nuggets? Last 2 years, 17.5 points per game and 16.7. So obviously we're going to need a little bit of a sizable leap here. But we think about the minutes played, 29 minutes and 31 minutes the last 2 years. What did the Denver Nuggets do this offseason? Not a whole lot. All they did was lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to the Magic and brought in Russell Westbrook. What does that do to their spacing? Really hurts it, actually. And we know KCP is a guy that shoots 38% from three. They don't have a lot of spacing on this team. They have Christian Brown. They're expecting big things from him. Julian Strawther, expecting big things from him in his second season. But the spacing on this court is not too ideal. So they're going to need Michael Porter Jr. in there a lot, especially with Russell Westbrook, who will push the pace, make them have more possessions per game. Obviously good for scoring. And they're going to need MPJ's shooting ability. No one's out here is going to say MPJ can't shoot the basketball. One of the most pure shooters. It's a guy you can't contest his shot. You can try, you can't do much with it. He struggled last year in the playoffs against the Timberwolves, cooked the Lakers. If he could play every game against the Lakers, this would not even be close to plus 475. But obviously you can't do everything against the Lakers. I think there's a chance, though. He could go off. Jamal Murray's been missing a bunch of games every single season. If he even gets injured and maybe suffers a season-ending injury, they're going to need more scoring. And with Russell Westbrook, somehow Russell obtained the Jamal Murray spot, we're going to be going up and down the court. MPJ's going to get a lot more field goal attempts. I like a chance here. I think he takes a step up. I think he gets into the 18, 19 points per game. For the off chance, maybe he averages 20. That's plus 475. I like a shot there. The next one is another guy to average 20 points per game. It's Bradley Beal of the Phoenix Suns. 20 plus points per game, plus 400 on on DraftKings. So you risk half a unit and you win back 2 if he cashes. Now on FanDuel, this is plus 275. BetMGM plus 225. So some value there. Obviously last year with Mr. Bradley Beal, what did he do? Not a whole lot. I keep kind of looking to my side because people keep walking past the door. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. People can 100% see me, and they're probably not too happy we're doing this, but hey, it is what it is. Bradley Beal, so far last year, 18.2 points per game. Was it a good year for him? No, we know that. And you look at how the whole season was ridiculed by injuries. He was injured basically every single game, it felt like. He played 53 games. Of those 53, 49, almost all of them came with Kevin Durant active, 45 with Devin Booker, majority of those with both of those active. Let's say, in a world, Bradley Beal is healthy this season coming into the year. Devin Booker gets injured for 3 weeks. Bradley Beal should be ready to go for those minutes. Kevin Durant gets injured for 3 weeks. Should be good. God forbid either of those two guys gets injured for a longer time. Bradley Beal's going to step into 20-plus points per game a night. Should be free. But let's talk about this just stylistically. Why do I think Bradley Beal is a bounce back year? 18.2 last year. Everything went wrong. He was injured. He was on minutes restrictions. And he played every single basically game with these guys. So obviously he's the third fiddle on this offense. But he also was used as kind of a ball handler more so as a point guard than how I wanted him to be used as a scorer. Well, what did they do? They came in here, brought in Tyus Jones, a true point guard. He's not a guy looking for a shot. So Tyus and Booker, those are two guys running the point. They're going to look to get the ball to Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, getting them attacking the hoop with a head of steam, scoring points, putting the ball in the basket. I like us there. Now on the same side, Beal last year, not great body language. I think this year he's got to come in here, look better, and I think he will. We know Bradley Beal is a certified bucket. This was a guy that was averaging 20 points. He was averaging 30 points with the Wizards. We know how capable he is. Obviously, the usage isn't going to be there, but the efficiency should be there. The minutes should be there. I think this is a guy that easily averages 20 points per game. I think this should be his regular line. I'm surprised it's here. I think Beal has a monster year. I think the Phoenix Suns are pretty solid. They're not going to blow out a ton of teams, in my opinion. They're going to have a lot of close games. Beal's going to get a lot of minutes. I think he averages over 20. Obviously, Durant and Booker will do their things, but not having to be a point guard for this team and instead being a scorer, we also think Booker and Durant, those guys are getting number 2 perimeter defenders on them. Beal's going to be that opportunity where they're like, hey, you have a mismatch. Go attack it. I think there's going to have some big games this year. I think he averages close to 20 at plus 400. I'll take a stab there. The next one, I have 2 picks on the same player. I'll start with the first one. The second one, I'll talk about for like half a second. The first one, half a unit on Karl Anthony Towns to average 22 or more points per game at plus 200 on BetMGM. Now, that's my only bet on BetMGM, I believe. Actually, DraftKings has decent value here. They don't have a 22-point line. They have a 23 at plus 180. So less value for 1 more point per game. Don't count me in on that. And then FanDuel, they had decent value on this yesterday prior to recording this. It was like plus 140. They switched to minus 120. So the fact you're getting plus 200 on Cat to average 22 points per game, obviously I like the value there. Now I'll keep going through this. This video is getting a little longer than I wanted. I'm obviously a Knicks fan. I think Cat has a big year. This is my 6th pick in the video. The 7th one will be on him too. It'll be him to average 24. I'll talk about that in a second. This is just a half unit play at plus 200. The Knicks roster needs scoring. They have Brunson, but you think about Brunson. Is he going to want to command a 20-plus field goal attempt night every single night? No. The other guys, Josh Hart, he ain't shooting the ball unless he has to. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are 2 guys that are very, I'm trying to think of the right word. They're not very aggressive. They're going to take their shots, sure. But they're not going out there iso ball. No, they're not doing that. They're going to be catch and shoot guys. They'll run some plays for them, but they're not getting the ball and just breaking down guys. Not like Cat, who I think will play a lot of minutes. We know Thibodeau. Minutes restriction, never heard of it. He will run Cat into the ground, maybe to his own fault, but whatever. BetMGM, I do want to note, they don't have a minutes played or games played qualification for futures that I know of. I couldn't find one, so we'll see how that goes. But the Knicks just need scoring here, and we saw last year, we saw Randall average 24 points per game with Brunson. But you also think about who else they had. They had R.J. Barrett. They had Quickly. They had a bunch of other guys in there. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Cat to come out here and have a big game. We've seen so far in his 2 preseason games, he had 25 and 16 points. Played less than 30 minutes, but 20 and 13 field goal attempts. We also saw Cat average 24 or more points per game 4 straight seasons. Prior to the last 2, when he averaged 20.8 and 21.8. Last 2 seasons, right around 15 field goal attempts. I think 15 is his floor every single night. I think Tom Thibodeau is going to yell and curse him out if he gets in the foul trouble, which he will do. but he will yell at him as hard as he can. Cat will need to be more disciplined than he has been in years past. He's going to be a big factor in this pick and roll, pick and pop game with Jalen Brunson. I love him for 20 plus points, 22 plus points per game, and I'll put the 7th pick on the screen. I also put a quarter unit on him to score 24 or more at plus 500 on BetMGM. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I think Cat's going to have a massive year. I think he'll be an all-star. I think he's going to have just a huge, huge year. So plus 500 for 24 plus, only 2 more points per game than the 22. I think he easily scores 20 or more. If something happens to Brunson, this is the freest wager of the year. But I think there will be a great tandem here. So I really like Cat in the new New York Knicks uniform. I think he has a big day, a big season. So count me in on him for 22 points per game for half a unit, 24 plus for quarter of a unit. Cat, I love you. And then my final plays, 3 final plays, and then I promise I'll get out of here and you won't see me talk about NBA for one more week. It's on Victor Wembanyama. 3 plays on him. You'll see them at the bottom of the screen. It's all in his double-doubles. Now, I won't spend a ton of time here because there's not a good pivot. If you don't have access to Bet365, I don't have a good pivot for you because I don't like his odds on FanDuel for rebounds. And DraftKings, my only good pivot is DraftKings for Wembanyama to average 12 or more rebounds is plus 140 to 80. I forget exactly the number. Actually, I have it written down here. Plus 140 on DraftKings for 12 plus rebounds. That would be my best pivot. But we're talking about Victor Wembanyama double-doubles. I know, it's a weird market. If you have Bet365, go find it. Sign up for Bet365. It's available in a bunch of different states. I'll put a link down below if you want to. We're taking the Wembanyama for half a unit for 50 double-doubles, a quarter unit for 55, and 0.1 unit, just a tenth of a unit, 60 plus double-doubles. What is a double-double? Victor Wembanyama on any given night needs 10 points, 10 plus of 2 categories. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. If he wants to do all 5, great. That only counts as 1 double-double. Should count as like 10 if he gets a quintuple-double. But most realistically, Wembanyama is going to need 10 points and 10 rebounds on most nights to cash this. I think this comes down to health. I mean, you see the odds on the screen, plus 300, plus 700, and plus 1,600. Last year, Wembanyama, 43 double-doubles in his 71 games. We know he was on a minutes restriction for a good amount of that season. In fact, he had 17 of his games where he finished with less than 10 rebounds, or games he played less than 30 minutes. So do I think he plays 35, 36 minutes a night? No, but I think he averages closer to 32 to 34. And this is a Spurs team that should be more competitive, and they also are starting him at center. Last year, he split a lot of time early on in the season with Zach Collins. He's now his backup. So we know Wembanyama is going to be in there at center, grubbing those boards. And we have the addition of Chris Paul, a very low rebounder, and other guys that aren't going to be rebounding a ton of basketball. So Wembanyama is going to be in there, big guy, down in the paint, contesting shots, getting those blocks. Maybe he gets a block, 10 plus blocks as a double-double. Maybe he gets the assists. But I think he'll be in there for rebounds. And we see him on other books. He's minus 700 to average 10 or more rebounds. He's going to play a lot. I think he dominates. Last year, 4 players averaged 12 or more rebounds. Those guys had 77, 54, 64, and 68 double-doubles. In my opinion, this comes down to health. If Victor Wembanyama is healthy, plays 70, 75 maybe games, he cashes this prop. If he doesn't, whatever, I can't control injuries. It is what it is. So I like this one as my final 3 picks for the NBA season's future bets. I'm not going to recap all of them. You can scroll through the video if you want to. I sent them all out early to the DubClub, so flying's changed. Don't blame me. Yeah, those are going to be my favorite future bets of the season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Apologies if my voice might sound a little quiet because I don't want to go too crazy. There's some people here that are probably very concerned about what's going on in this office room. But either way, appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's Austin. I'll see you guys in 1 week for some NBA best bets. And I can't wait for the season to start. So hopefully you enjoyed these futures. If you have any that you like, let me know down below in the description. Not in the description, in the comment section. And let's have a great NBA season. I'll see you guys bright and early next Tuesday morning. Probably have those videos posted on Monday night. Have a great day. See you guys in the next one. Peace.